Hi, I'm Philadelphia Berro. I suffered from really bad asthma growing up as a kid. I was always told I couldn't do anything. Couldn't do sports, couldn't be part of a team, couldn't even play a wind instrument. Long walks were out of the question, running was out of the question. My health was always very poor. When I was 14, it got even worse. I was diagnosed with leukemia. This meant that my world was rocked. I suffered from acute lymphoblastic leukemia, specifically Burkitt's leukemia. I was treated for 6 months at Kaiser Oakland with intense experimental chemotherapy treatment. Fortunately, I went into remission after 4 months. This was great, but my health was still always a concern for everyone, doctors, families, everyone. I still couldn't be an athlete. Having asthma and being a cancer survivor, now I knew that I knew I couldn't do anything. My parents were consistently telling me not to push myself. I couldn't participate in any team sports. My friends were cheerleaders on the soccer team, played basketball, but I couldn't do any of that. The doctor told me I had to be very aware of what my body was going through, had to listen to myself, and for the longest time, I knew that I just couldn't do sports. I couldn't be an athlete because everyone around me was telling me that I could not do it. In January 2009, I finished college and decided to move home from San Diego back to the Bay Area. I moved home weighing more than I had started college. I gained that freshman 15 quite quickly, and I was still not convinced that I could do anything athletic. I had started going to the gym at school, but it was very mild walking and taking it very easy. In March of 2009, I spoke with a really close friend, and he was telling me how he was about to participate in Wildflower, a triathlon in San Luis Obispo. He had joined Team in Training because his younger brother had passed away from leukemia. As he was telling me about all the training he had been doing for the past 3 months, about the race that was coming up that weekend, I started to think, this is something I want to do. I wonder if I can do it. And the moment that thought passed through my head, he followed it with, this is something you should do. You should be part of Team in Training. You should inspire other people by training for an event with them. You should do a triathlon. And it sparked an idea in my head. Could I, myself, the person who has always been told that I could not do athletic things, become a triathlete, do a triathlon? What started as a simple phone call turned into a simple idea. That idea grew and grew, and finally I decided, why not? I should join Team in Training. I called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and spoke with the team manager and signed up in the moment. And then I called my parents, and my mom was not very happy. You're doing what, she said? You're gonna be in a triathlon? Are you sure that's okay? Maybe you should call your doctor. I called my doctor, and she was happy. She agreed. She said, you know, you're healthy, you're young, you should do this. But remember, listen to yourself, listen to your body, because when you start to feel not well, the only person who knows what's going on is you, and come in if anything comes up. In June of 2009, I joined a team and started training. I remember my first time putting on my wetsuit, struggling into my wetsuit, I should say, and getting into the ocean at Aquatic Park in San Francisco. The water was freezing, and I thought to myself, what am I doing? This is crazy. I'm in a wetsuit, I'm in the ocean in San Francisco. You don't even go in the ocean in the summer, and it is the summer, and I'm in a wetsuit, and there are seals. What's going on? Why am I doing this? But my teammates were all there to encourage me. We trained all summer, and I was feeling great. I was doing it. I was accomplishing things I never thought I could do. In September of 2009, the day of Pac Grove finally came. I was excited and nervous. And as I stood at the start line for the start of the race, I looked around at all my peers, everyone else in wetsuits and goggles, anxious, cold, nervous. I knew that I was about to become a triathlete, that I, even if I didn't finish this race, had already accomplished being an athlete. I'd trained all summer, and here I was about to compete in a race with people who were professionally doing this. And here I was myself, just someone who had decided to race after a phone call. I dove in the water and swam my heart out, struggled through the kelp, went around the piers, got out of the water, had to run around a rock and get back in. I finished the swim, ran up the stairs, the whole time smiling because I had done it. I got on my bike and rode my heart out. Each time I looped around and saw my parents, I was excited and happy. Got off my bike with my legs like jelly and ran. At one point I did think, why are you doing this? You've just swam, you've biked, and now you're running 6 miles. But I couldn't stop smiling. I was accomplishing something I'd always been told I couldn't do. Whether it was being stubborn or actually becoming an athlete, I was doing what I'd always been told I couldn't do. As I crossed the finish line that day and saw my mom, I was already planning future races. I know I'll always go back to Pacific Grove because it was the first race I ever did. And now, here I am. I've done more than 10 races. I've gone back to Pac Grove and I'm planning going back this year. And I'm training for Wildflower. It's my first time competing in the full Olympic distance race of Wildflower. Last year I competed in a relay, but this year I'm going back and doing it for myself. I'm excited, nervous, but I know that I can do it because I'm an athlete now. Not only am I an athlete, I'm a triathlete.
We're back at the 29th annual Avia Wildflower Triathlon, and I'm here with our little filly, Philadelphia Berro. She's with Team in Training. Tell me about your race today.
It was good, pretty hot, but good. Fun race.
How was the run?
The run was the hottest part and the hardest, but good. Lots of hills and dirt.
No one out there with water pistols today to cool you off?
No, a lot of college guys with hoses, though. I got a shower every, I don't know, kilometer or so.
Wow, I kind of like that idea.
It's pretty good.
Are you going to come back next year?
Of course.
You love this event. This is your first one, right?
It's my first Wildflower, and hopefully I will do more in the future.
So you're addicted to triathlons now?
I sure am. Pac Grove is my baby, though. I'm addicted to tries, but Pac Grove is my baby.
Well, we are so glad that you could join us here today, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.